So next up, let's give it up for the lovely, lovely Cody, everybody. Give it up for Cody.
He's got pretty eyes.
How's everybody?
Wow.
Well, swell. I like that. That's a good word. So I don't have much. So
Like your back.
that's good. Brandon, you mentioned something about the open mic that happens today, and we're a little different crowd. And my first thought was like, well, yeah. I mean, there's people down there. So, but we're glad you showed up tonight for us instead. Here for yourselves right now. So
They're actually not doing one tonight.
oh well, that explains why everyone's down here. Okay, well,
And they don't
I guess
have,
we're going to see you all next week down there. All right.
and they don't have vodka Red Bulls?
No, they don't.
They do.
I guess.
Oh, they do. Okay.
They just cost a lot.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
twice as much,
yeah, I don't
yeah.
have much tonight. The one thing that I thought was like just made me laugh today this week was at work I sell pressure switches for like people's water tanks and shit like that for their wells. Anyways, I had one out showing somebody, and I actually read the stickers. You know, it's like I should probably read this. I sell these, but anyway, it says the sticker on it says, "Do not adjust springs if you are unsure of the process." I thought, now is that not the most politest way to just like, dumbass, stop what you're doing. You're gonna fuck things up. Don't do it. Like, hey, if more products had things like that, life would be so much easier for us. So, but, a couple weeks ago, some of you were here, some of you weren't. Most of you weren't. But this crowd was. But I made my hands on the clock, which you can check out on YouTube by chance at Crazy Cody's Comedy Corner. Cheap plug. Anyway, you want me to say it again? I can say it again. No. But no.
All C's are all K's.
Yeah, all C's. Crazy Cody's Comedy Corner. Anyways, but I did a little bit called Hands on the Clock. And it was a pretty funny bit. And I had referenced my brother as being an asshole in it. I said, when my therapist asked, what brings you here? I'll tell you what brings me here. My brother's an asshole. And I slammed on the piano and got up and walked away from it and sat back down. And, that's part of the joke. But anyway, found out there were some people in my family who they thought I was being serious. And I thought to myself, well, I don't actually see a therapist either. I mean, let's think about this here. And I don't have 2 easy steps for success that I just choose not to apply to myself. It's a joke, everyone, but I just was so blown away. I love my brother. If it wasn't for him, I would not be up here, to be honest, because I am so callous from criticism from my older brother that I really don't care what anybody here thinks. I'm just gonna do what I do. I could just like water off a duck's back. Doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of my favorite memories growing up were of my brother, to be honest. Like, I can remember, like, my twin brothers got tight curly hair, so he used to call them DuPont. Like the carpets, DuPont carpets, resistible and all that. And, he was always, like, I was, the class clown, you could say, and he would be a lot like, like Red Foreman. That would be from that 70s show. That would be my brother. You dumbass, no matter what. It was, but it made me who I am today, and I so greatly appreciate that. Like, I've really had, like, maybe 2 compliments from my brother. And one of them was, we were painting a room, and he'd cut the wall and the ceiling in, and he's like, that looks like shit. And I said, well, let me try. And I cut it in, and he get done, and he looks, and he says, well, it looks like you'll be cutting it in from now on. I was like, hey, thanks, but my favorite compliment I ever got from my brother, the second one, which I think was the first one in retrospect, it was the first time that all my brothers and sisters, it was just my brothers and sisters and my mom and dad for Thanksgiving, and we were all bringing something. So I'm like, well, I will make ice cream. Since I have the old ice cream maker we have from when I was a kid, I'll make the ice cream. So I must have gone through, I don't know, $150, $200 in like milk, ice, and creamers because I'm like, this is gonna be perfect. And I remember the girlfriend at the time just getting pissed. And I said, no, if this is fucked up, I'm gonna hear about this the rest of my life. Anytime Cody's gonna bring something, he's like, "Arr." So finally made that perfect creamy batch. It was perfect. I get it, it's Thanksgiving, it's dessert time. My brother's eating it, I'm just waiting to hear something. And he says, hey, looks like you don't fuck everything up. I thought that, I'm going to take that as a compliment, big brother. So it's a Hallmark. Exactly, that is a Hallmark card. But yeah, no, I do not think my brother's an asshole. He's such a nice guy, and if he is an asshole, he is the nicest one you'll ever meet. I promise. So, but another funny story that, it's true, but. So I'm pretty sure, like, how as we get older, our memories, like the details of the memories kind of fade a little, or, get a little obscure. So when I was, my twin and I must have been like 4 or 5, and we'd gotten rollerblades, and we went down to the end of the block, which is where my brother's friend lived. And so they were there, and they brought us back. And I don't remember how I got there, but my older brother had my twin brother like this over his shoulders with his head pointing that way. We've got concrete steps going up in the house, and somehow when he stepped up, my brother twin had slipped off, cracked his head on blood. I remember this, and that's the only time I've ever seen fear in my older brother's eyes either, was that time there. But now, how I act, and I'm up here, I'm always a goofball and all of the above. I bet as he tells the story, he says, I remember it being Jared, but I look at Cody and go, I don't know, I think he was the one who was dropped on his head as a kid. I'm pretty sure about that. Like, what else? There's no other explanation for this up here, so. But yeah, I love him. He's great. So, I guess all I've got now is. And thanks for listening. This is therapy, isn't it? Okay, so, all right. How much do I owe y'all? I tried to give you laughs, but that didn't work. Anyway, so here is a PSA announcement for everyone. Okay, so all the young people, I hope everyone's listening. A public service announcement brought to you by your comedians on the stage. Okay, young people, keep elderly people safe from phone scams. Remember, that's your inheritance they're stealing. So protect your elderly. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Oh yeah, keep it going for Cody, everybody. Nice work. All right. Well, there's still room on the sign-up sheet. We've only got one more name as of now, so